Hello YouTube, my name is Agent Omega, and I do things. Today we are in Minecraft 1.13 for a very couple of special reasons. Before we begin, I just wanted to apologize for the lack of content in a while. In Nature's Beauty, I've still been looking for that darn desert biome, and I'm still having no luck. When the next episode airs, eventually, I'm probably going to end up building some, just for fun, structures all around the place. Just because, I'm getting a little burnt out on the exploration, and I want to do something a little bit different. But in the interim, I am going to still keep looking for that desert biome, and that's all that. But as for why we're here, and why we're very clearly in a creative flat world or whatever, with tons of mobs, is because, as part of Minecraft 1.13, the hermits have gone to the update aquatic. And more in particular, is that Grian joined the hermits. And that is fan-freaking-tastic, guys. Like, that is absolutely my favorite thing to happen, and basically, Grian and Mumbo were my two sole chief reasons for becoming attempting to become a content creator, and therefore, I not only wanted to sort of give them a tribute, but it gave me something to be inspired about, and in Mumbo's latest episode of Hermitcraft, link in the description, he and Grian are going to partner up as, like, sort of a team, like last season in Hermitcraft, you had the NHO and La Révolution, and basically, I thought to myself, I really like the name Grumbo, or Global Redstone and Massive Build Organization. And, it's just a portmanteau of Grian and Mumbo, but I decided to make it into an acronym. And so, I wanted to build just some logos, potential stuff for them, and that sort of collaboration. But before we do all that, I just wanted to show off the new command system with autocomplete and stuff. So I've already set the game mode to peaceful, I've already disabled the daylight cycle, but let's for a moment assume that we get creepers or something in here that could possibly damage the terrain. So I'm going to do game rule mob griefing false. Look at that. That is fantastic. Normally you have to look up the commands and all that junk, but it's just all right at your fingertips, and I am absolutely loving that as a feature in 1.13 already. So, with that, let's get on with our first build. So the first thing I had in mind, based upon one of the comments in the video, is sort of a redstone-based pickaxe. But before that, I'm going to chuck down a circle here, and I kind of suck at circles, so I'm using an app to generate a pixel-based one, and basically, I kind of had the idea that if this is going to be a global organization, you need a globe. So I'm putting down some black concrete just as a framework. Probably going to end up being almost cartoony, maybe a little bit sort of, not exactly cel-shaded per se, but I want to go for that very 8-bit art style or whatever. Let me just count this real quick. Yep, looks like 3 and 3. 2, 1, 2 this way, and then 6 this way, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's just how I build really good circles. I find an app, and then I memorize sort of the counts, and then I just go along like that. Now, if I wanted a less perfect circle, that would just be sort of, eyeball it to your best will, but there we have that. And so now I need to kind of figure out how exactly I'm going to do this bit. So I'm thinking, like just a mixture of wool and snow on the bottom here to sort of simulate Antarctica. Yeah, probably do something like this, have a little bit of a dip there, because I know the continent isn't exactly rigid. So I think that probably... I don't like how symmetrical that is. So you know what? Actually, I like that better over there, and we'll do something like that. Yeah, yeah, all right, that'll do for now. And then we're gonna get some blue in here, because you know clearly blue globe, blue earth, all that yada yada. Um, okay, probably gonna try and vary up the textures later. Maybe add in some wool, or I don't know yet, just yet. And now I'm doing all of this kind of from memory, so I hope you will forgive any weird shapes that sort of come out. But you know what? I'm gonna consult. I'm gonna consult the globe just for a little bit because I don't want to widely get something wrong. So I'll be back shortly. Okay guys, now that that's squared away, I realized that I was accidentally probably going to start swapping the coasts of Africa and South America. So, we are just going to change the shape a little bit down here. And I'm not really sure about the scale of Antarctica or anything just yet, but that is a-okay. We're going to come up one like this, and then we're going to add this, and then some green, and then we're going to kind of do this sort of thing. And South America kind of bends inward a little bit, and I'm going to have major scale issues if I decide to wrap the coastline. So, maybe we'll drop this down one, perhaps? Alright, and then we'll do something like this. And it'll kind of have to bulge out just a little bit over here. And this isn't going to look all that fantastic, but considering that it is a Grian and Mumbo team, I think if they like this concept, then they'll be able to fix it without much difficulty. So we'll just do this sort of a thing. And then that, and that, and this is kind of a really, really awful South America. Sincerest apologies. I'm like really bad at maps. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so that's that, and then we kind of have the Central American... I don't know what the geographical term for that is. It's not exactly a peninsula. Offshoot? I don't know. So we'll kind of get this going on up here. And part of the United States is going to get cut off, but whatever, that's fine. Alright, that's not terrible. Just do something like this. And fill this in. We'll do this. Sorry, Alaska, you're not going to be there. And then we kind of need to get the Gulf of Mexico in right about here. And then we'll do this, and then we'll get Florida out over here. And fill in a little bit of terracotta over here. And then the coast kind of goes, curves this-ish way. So I think I want to do that. And then maybe get some more of this going on up in here. I know this is kind of supposed to be where, like, Canada and Maine and Iceland is supposed to be, But yeah, this isn't the best. I'm okay with that though. It doesn't even really have to be Earth. Just the whole concept is that this is a globe. Um, all right, so that's kind of the Western Hemisphere taken care of. Sorry again. um, it's not terrible exactly. You can tell it's a globe. Um, and so the next thing that I've kind of been eyeballing is that we've got Iceland. No, Greenland. Yeah, we've kind of got Greenland over here, and I'll just throw this in, and like that, and then put in some support blocks so that I don't end up doing that sort of thing. Greenland will be just sort of up here. And this, I realize, will probably also inadvertently cut off Russia, but we'll still get, like, Europe and Africa and South America, and, well, we'll get half of the Earth. Yeah. Maybe if I'm feeling really ambitious, I'll build out the second half on the back. But given how the Americas have turned out, I'll probably just stop after this. Um, so the good thing is we've kind of got this water gap here. So that'll make the coastline over here a little bit more distinct. Now I need to figure out roughly the scaling for Africa. So that'll probably be kind of about here-ish. Like there. Yeah, that's actually not terrible. So that'll be the bit that juts out like that. This is not at all climate accurate either. Like, I'm just putting in sand for the beaches and stuff, and like green for the land, but I know that this is not at all representative of any of the natural geography. Okay, so maybe something like, and Africa is a little bit more north on the bottom than South America is, so we'll kind of do this sort of a thing, and I think I'll do that just for a bit of shape. Yeah, this isn't exactly the best rendition of a continent either, but that's fine. Alright. We'll kind of do this here, and then we'll get Europe up in here. So we'll kind of come over this way, and then Africa kind of dips down like this. And we'll get a little bit more texturing going on here, like that. And then we'll do this sort of thing. It is connected over here to, I think that's Saudi Arabia. Or maybe that's the UAE. Alright, and then we'll not do that. Do this sort of thing, this, and then that, this, and then Gibraltar is going to be right around here, so we'll kind of do this sort of a thing, and yeah, this is turning into a right bit of a mess, isn't it? Actually, that's not all that bad. Yeah. I mean, apologies to like Europe and Russia and Australia and all of that whatnot, but yeah, that's not bad. And apologies to all of Asia, because that's my globe is too small for that. But this isn't all that terrible for a first effort, and I think I got most of the big features. Like it's kind of recognizable as the Earth, right? Right? Okay, so now we've got a totally different color palette in our inventory, and you know what that means? Totally different build is going to be overlaid on top of that. So, what I'm thinking is, and this one comes directly from the comments section, we are going to build a pickaxe. A redstone pickaxe. And so therefore, you know what, pickaxes in game go left to right, bottom to top, that is. So we're just gonna kind of... Ooh, yes, I like that. So we're going to use this spruce stripped block because it looks the most like the handle of a pickaxe. And then I've also got redstone out as a bit of a reference. So that is one thing that definitely helps me with building, is that you kind of want to have a reference available whenever possible. And, alright, so... best way to do this would be to come out a little bit, I think, so that we are overlaying, and then we'll do this sort of a thing, I think. And now it seems a little bit silly that I was fussing about what exactly I was going to do, because clearly we're just going to cover it up with a pickaxe, but I think attention to detail is a really important thing in Minecraft, because without it, you know, what exactly are you building? So let's see, I think I kind of want to have like a little bit of speckle of redstone there, and the main base of redstone, you know, we've got some shading on the off side, so I might do the darker stuff like kind of around here. Get this sort of a thing going on here, and this is already starting to look more like a fireman's axe than anything else, but that's acceptable. We are going to dot this redstone block in sort of around the build because, you know, it's a redstone pickaxe, and you can see we've got that speckling going on there. Now, pickaxe kind of curves down a little bit more, so I want to capture that. And it's also a little bit narrower. So we kind of go diagonally down one, and then we go down a little bit more. So I believe what I want to do is this sort of a thing. And then maybe... I don't think I want to go double width. I think that's probably going to be okay right there. If I come out over on this side, it's going to need to be a little bit thicker, so I'll go ahead and put that like that, probably. Somehow this doesn't exactly look right just yet, but that's fine. And then on this side, we kind of want to come up diagonally like this. Yeah, somehow this just doesn't quite look right. think maybe if I do... I need more curvature over here. That's part of it. This bit up here is kind of flat, so I think I might just keep on working on this bit and then sort of finish that off. And that comes to roughly about halfway, so that's right about here. Alright, that's not bad. And then I think I'll add a little bit of work up here. That looks just a little bit strange. What about that? No. Alright. I think maybe it'll help when I start adding in this black concrete as an outline. Because that will help give me a better sense of the art. So if I do something like this... that doesn't stick out that much. So maybe like that? And then like this? Yeah, alright, I'm kinda seeing it now. So that means we'll kinda want to do this, and then like this. And we're also gonna kinda want to come around about halfway, so we actually have done that with this. And then... so this is why I think things look a little bit funky. Over here, we've got red there, and then we've got two coming this way, and then we go one up. So I think I've made this side go out a little bit too far. And unfortunately, because I'm not on my Spigot server, that means I have to shift everything manually. So this is red concrete. Black here. And shift over a wool. Red concrete. Redstone. And... I forgot what was there already. So we'll get in some of this, and we'll get in a little bit of this. And then I think... How does that look? Definitely, probably better the other way around. Maybe I could use some stairs up in here? Stairs might actually be okay, but... I'm kind of liking that. When I stand back from afar, it seems to have a better shape there. Maybe I do want to switch this in like this, and maybe I want to go like this, and then like that. Alright, one last thing to try. I could go like this. Yeah, that right there is actually quite mega. So I think that's going to be my first logo, and then I'm going to build a second proposal. And this is all going to be in the same world, so that link is going to be down in the description as well. Alright guys, we are back real quick. Before I begin the next really ambitious potential logo design thing, naturally one of the things that's going to be needed for, you know, an alliance or a building company or whatever they're going to call themselves is a font, a logo. So I went searching for the, I went searching on the internet, and I picked out a couple of different fonts, because I wanted something that was kind of futuristic, like just a hybrid of Mumbo and Grian, and I just kind of thought it'd be nice if I could get something with a lot of shape in it, if I could get something that looked kind of interesting, and this is kind of what I came up with. And the three fonts we're using in this particular video are Anurati, Centauri, and Nasalization. And there will be links to the sites that I got those from down below. I think at least one of them might be a paid font, so just note that. But here we go. So, of course, top one is Anurati, middle one is Centauri, and the bottom one is Nasalization, and obviously the bottom one is named for NASA. Now, these aren't exactly what the fonts look like on the website, or, you know, in a Word document or whatever. I actually printed out a Word document with various font samples, with Grumbo specifically printed out. And this is kind of what I came up with. So, if you have any questions about font stuff and, you know, how I replicated these letters, feel free to chuck that down in the comment section, and maybe I'll make a video if there's enough interest for how I go about replicating this sort of thing. But I just kind of thought, you know, we've got red for redstone, we've got white as a good color in front of it, and because quartz is one of those few blocks that actually has stairs and slabs. So I thought it made for a really nice combination. I'm not too keen with how the Anurati came out. I think I probably spaced the M out a little bit too much, and that gave like the illusion of white space, even though, you know, I left a block in between each of the letters for all three of these. It just looks like the first one has a lot of extra space because of the gaps between the U and the M, and it doesn't look that way on the actual printed font either. So I'm not really sure where I went wrong there. The B and the R and the G aren't as sharp as they are in the actual font itself, and the U is kind of iffy, but I'm still okay with how that one turned out. I'm not really sure of the remaining two, which I like more. Like, I really like the Nasalization, but at the same time, I actually kind of like the spaced outness of Centauri. And, well, I think it'll really be up for them to decide if they even pick Grumbo. But these are just three options, and of course, once again, I listed the fonts on the sides if you want to remember which is which, and of course, fonts down in the description below. Next clip will be the really ambitious thing, but I think I'm just about out of recording time for today, so I'll pick this up in the next 2 or 3 days. Alright guys, I popped on Minecraft a little bit after raid, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of a progress report before I went to bed. So as you can see, there's a little bit changed here. On the globe I decided to vary it up a little bit, and I added in some ice, both packed and blue variants. I also added some blue concrete powder and some blue wool, as you can see there. And even though it doesn't, like, look like it, I actually covered some of the back areas too, so, you know, we've got a little bit of a nice variation there. And then I also started working on the next bit of the project, and it's just the shape slash framework for now, but bonus points if you can guess exactly what it is I'm going for before I end up going for it. So here you can plainly see that we've got like the top of the world. Maybe as a joke I'll add like a little North Pole type barbershop pole or something like that. But very clearly you can see two silhouettes, and then these mysterious thingalings. So yeah, feel free to guess in the comment section, but I just wanted to give that progress report because I was really starting to get into it, and I didn't want to get too far ahead of myself without I basically didn't want to jump ahead and have a whole ton of progress that I didn't really show you guys or explain. So I think the main thing is just using the different types of ice and the concrete powder and the wool just gives the water and the areas near the sort of Arctic Circle a really nice look. So let me know what you think of that as well, and I will be back in the next couple of days. Hello folks, we are back. It is the next day, and I'm going to get started. It looks like there's a bit of a thunderstorm outside, so if I spontaneously cut out, start recording at a different spot in time, it's likely because my computer has stopped functioning. But I figured let's get started with the very small details first, and it'll be kind of more readily apparent exactly what my plan is. Now you can see in the lower right hand corner of my bar I've got some redstone, so I'm just going to really quickly, just kind of mock this out and see what kinda looks good. This is going to be like a really small redstone, so I'm just kind of mocking this out, and I think we need to switch over to the lighter colors over here. The question is, do I want to use red terracotta? No, that's not vibrant enough, so we're going to do that. I do like how it's used in this pickaxe over here. I think that just gives it the more pickaxey look, almost like a fireman's axe, but I think for the actual redstone itself, for more vibrant colors, we want to do this sort of a thing. I don't quite like that. So let's do this, and then let's see how the red wool looks in here, actually. Ooh! You know what? I actually think the red wool might be better off than the concrete powder. That's not bad, but I think we need to add in... switch this to over here, and then we might need to add in just a little bit more redstone blocks somewhere. Or maybe... how does this look? If I switch this out like this... no, not quite. And... there's not a really good dark red color. I guess I could use red nether brick? That might be too dark, though. Let's give that a shot, because it might not be all that bad. It might... ooh. Yeah, you know what? That's actually really nice. Okay, so then the curve kind of comes up around here for the shadow, so that's fine there. And then we'll throw in a little bit of the concrete powder. Maybe? That's not great. I think we need another layer of transition, maybe right about here. And then use red wool for the rest of it. No, I think the fact of the matter is that this is too dark. That's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, so I guess we'll go back to using the red concrete here, because that's kind of the darkest we're gonna get. Yeah, because this looks too brown, I think. So this is probably the quote-unquote darkest we're gonna get here, and then we'll do like a bit of the red wool, because I think that is kind of a decent intermediary, and then we'll chuck in some of the concrete powder here. And I think that looks a little bit more like redstone dust. So then finally, maybe we'll replace... that was unintended, but we'll replace one of those with redstone, and yeah, I think that's pretty apparent what that is. Maybe. I think just having it rotated, the pixel art just looks a little bit funky, but that is okay. So now we're going to move on to what the other person is holding. We're going to go for the wood, And actually, I want to get some spruce planks for reasons that'll become apparent later. Do I want spruce? You know what? Let's go with oak, because I think spruce might be a little bit too dark, might not get enough contrast. Wood. Yeah, you know what? We'll go back to the spruce, because I think if I use the combination of the spruce wood and the dark oak, and then get us some planks as a reference. Okay, I'm just going to chuck this down on the ground so I can kind of see what this looks like. So in my hand, we can see we've got the horizontal face kind of in the front. So I'm going to replicate that as well too, which means we kind of want to go and do something like this, I think. And this is by no stretch of the imagination the best thing in the world, but it's not going to be terrible, I hope. Maybe we need a little bit more detail in here. Yeah, that's not that great. Okay, so we'll do something like this, and then maybe like that. Do something like that. And this is all just pure trial and error. Like, I'm definitely just playing around, seeing what looks acceptable. The fact of the matter is, I think this simulacrum of a block is too small to really get any good resolution in there. So this might actually be the best we can really do, and that kind of sucks. You know, that looks like a piece of garbage, that does. Let's try something a little bit different. Alright, so what if I just go in diagonals like this and not try to match the slope? Yeah, that looks kind of, that doesn't look that great. Oh, but it also doesn't help that I had this block just chilling here empty. I don't know, guys. I just don't know how to feel about this one. But then again, the idea is there, and like I said earlier, this is just a prototype, so if this idea is selected, obviously I have no doubt that Grian can make it better. And this is also sort of a tribute build, so I'm also very okay just building this one to show my appreciation for them. Ooh, actually, yes, I think I'm getting somewhere with this. Boom. Yeah, still not the best thing ever, but I think it's better than the previous effort. What if I did this? And then maybe this and that. Yes! Okay, that's actually not half bad. So, we're going to stick with that. We're going to stick with those two things. And if you haven't already guessed, we are going to build Mumbo and Grian behind these things. Now, Mumbo is going to be a little bit easier because obviously I've already built him once, so I can use my own work as a reference. But Grian, I'm going to have to, like, stare at pictures or something in order to replicate his face. And the other thing is, Grian is just a little bit more complicated because he, like, has the super fancy hair. So I want to capture that if possible. Okay. So now I've got a picture of what I did for Mumbo's face, and I can grab those same blocks. The question is, did I use wool for his hair, or did I use concrete? Looks like wool. And then I'm gonna need some sandstone. A little bit of endstone. Planks, and I think I used a combination of birch and oak. That seems correct. And then for his clothing, I think I used a combination of cyan terracotta. Looks like I might have used white terracotta, light gray terracotta. Actually, a whole lot more blocks than I can really use. So we'll start with his face, and then we'll go ahead with the rest of it. So I don't know if this is going to work out very well, but I think, yeah, what we have here is theoretically 8 by 8 just rotated. So I'm going to effectively just copy what I did in my other video, and this isn't going to turn out the best, so I hope you'll forgive me, Mumbo. Okay, so we've got something like that. Yeah, this is going to look a little bit funky. And Mumbo's hair kind of comes down just a little bit, so we'll do this kind of a thing, I think. We'll have to sort of empirically determine if we need to fill in this block too or not. But for now, I think we're good there. And then I used a majority of sandstone in here. And his eyes are going to be a little bit difficult too, because now these are going to have to be kind of rotated. Yeah, this is going to be difficult. Did I really use sandstone here? Yep, nope, that's actually sandstone. So we'll just go ahead and I feel like this needs to be like that. And I feel like the fact that we have a black border too isn't exactly helping the situation, because it's like really hard to differentiate between what is Mumbo and what is border. So I think we're just going to do something like that. And I think we need to throw some more hair in there, because otherwise it won't look great. That's not too bad. And then I know with Mumbo's eye, it's kind of like around here and around here. So rotating it, I think I would want to do something like this. Whoa, that's way too dark. What planks did I use? No? Maybe that's correct. Yeah, that seems correct. Okay. So we're going to do that. We're going to do this. And see, this is where things are going to get really difficult, because Mumbo's eyes are already diagonal, and it's going to be really tough to sort of replicate this the way I'm thinking about it. So I think actually that might not be all that half bad right there. No, that's definitely unnecessary. Yeah, I think that'll probably be okay. This is turning into a bit of a right mess, isn't it? Okay, and then something like this. Nope. This. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Nope. Nope. I think maybe this. This. No. That's not that great either. 1 block over. Let's try that. I feel like I've bitten off a little bit more than I can chew, so... Oh, well, no wonder that looked incorrect. I've gone and swapped the order of things. So this should really be... This should really be here, and then this, and then this. Which still doesn't look all that fantastic. Because it needs to be rotated counterclockwise 90 degrees. No? Why does that still not look good? I mean, that's how it's supposed to look. Maybe if I move this up here... I think I might be overcomplicating it. Let's, for now, let's just do something really simple, like, maybe not there. Yeah, alright. I think I'm falling into perfectionism, so we might as well just keep at it. And then I'll move the eyes later, because I need the rest of the face to kind of determine scale. I'm thinking maybe 1 to the left. Yeah. Nope. Not end stone. That's going to be used later. And maybe 1 down. Yep. Nope, that's just not jiving correctly. I'm going to fiddle around with this a little bit more and get back to you guys shortly. Alright guys, so I fiddled around a bit and, well, frankly, I didn't really come up with anything super satisfactory. As you can see in front of us, we have the general shape of Mumbo's mustache. It may even, like, sort of curve up, possibly. No, I don't think that's right. But anyway, this is the general shape of it, and unfortunately, that really doesn't translate too well to, well, this. So I just fiddled around, and I made something that looks kinda Mumbo-esque. I'm so sorry, Mumbo. I love you. Well, platonically. Admirationally? I don't even know what the word for that is. I'm a big fan. My apologies for this. This is like Mumbo Derp Face. Mumbo... No. I don't even know what you would call this. This is just something. This is something. So we're just gonna ignore that. We're gonna move on to the suit, and I think this is gonna be a little bit easier. So we're basically just gonna have a layer like this. I actually think that I should probably start with the tie. And another thing that I just remembered while typing in nether is that I remembered nether wart is a block. So I filled that in with the redstone, and I think that looks a lot more redstone-y, comparatively speaking to whatever I had already. You know, I kind of forgot. I'd have to watch the video in order to recreate it, but that's beside the point. So let's go ahead and get Mumbo's sort of professional-looking tie going on here, and already this is off to a bad start. Okay, so we'll do something like this. And then I kind of want to skip a little bit. We're going to make this an actual freaking tie. Maybe just we'll go down kind of like this. And I know from behind this doesn't at all look correct because Mumbo's tie doesn't go down nearly this far. But for now, that's probably kind of acceptable. I want it to look like there's a knot here. So, nether... Let's see how this nether wart looks. Maybe I can make it look like there's a knot there or something like that. Maybe it'll look better with the final product. So I'll just chuck this in like that. I feel like it needs to be thicker over here. Kind of like this. Yes, that's not half bad. And it's okay if it droops a little bit, because it'll look like Mumbo's being affected by gravity. Maybe I want to do something like this, and then like that. Yes, that doesn't look half bad. So then the next obvious thing is we need to get some wool in here for his shirt. And if I wanted to go a little bit more three-dimensional with this art, yeah, that probably looks... kind of fine. Yeah, it probably looks kind of fine. If I wanted to go a little bit more three-dimensional, then I'd have the tie out in front, of course. For now, we're just going to chuck in these. I was really proud how this turned out in the piston video. Not the piston house video, the contraption video. So I'm going to try and replicate that a little bit, but I'm already not terribly crazy with how this is coming out. Like, it definitely needs more thickness, but I'm not sure how to do that with this perspective and making it, like, super weird, super blocky stuff. Yeah, that's probably the best I'm going to get for now. So I'm going to just do this. And then next to that, I had white terracotta, I believe. So we'll just come in here like this. Actually, yeah, that's not half bad. Okay. We'll just chuck this in here. Because if you look really closely, Mumbo has just a bit of accentuation here. And it almost kind of makes him look collegiate, I think. I don't know if that's actually a word. I think it's a word. But it makes him look like a professor or something. So we're going to do that. And then I had a layer of cyan terracotta. Maybe if I do something like this. And then this. And then chuck this in like this. So we're getting a lot of layer overlap, but that is probably okay. And I'm not going to worry about doing the back, because frankly you're not really supposed to see that. Okay, yeah, that's not terrible. It looks like something I could have drawn like 10 years ago. But it's not terrible, considering the weird perspective. Okay. And then maybe like this, and like this. Yeah, that looks enough like Mumbo that I am satisfied. Now, onto the difficult bit with Grian. I think if I do this, and then this, this. Does that look better? Actually, markedly. That looks markedly better. Because I think Mumbo's shirt, like, kind of curves in a bit. So I almost kind of want to do something similar up here, I think. Actually, this can probably remain like that. No, this can switch to this. And then this can switch to that. And then this, this, this. I think that just breaks it up a little bit and potentially looks nicer. Now I'm waffling. I'm waffling again. Let's reset that, because I think I had just this here and then this here like that. That'll probably be fine for now. I know this was a shirt block before, but I think this is acceptable. This probably looks decent. And it looks like Mumbo's leaning. Sure. Let's go with that. We can attribute all of our problems to gravity. Now for Grian. Okay, guys. So I fiddled around a little bit with Grian, and I think because again we're working at a weird angle, and because Grian has a very different style, I've taken a different approach for him. And all in all, I think I'm mostly okay with how his face turned out, at least. I mean, look at that. I mean, it's not the best thing ever, but I think I've captured sort of the essence of his overhanging hair. I stared at pixel art, and I kind of thought, well, not pixel art, I stared at, you know, a copy of his skin for a little bit, and I thought that this sort of sufficiently captured the fact that, you know, underneath we've got the dark hair, and I just thought using all of these different wood blocks, like, worked the best as, you know, skin and hair and stuff. And it's a little bit messy, but I think Grian's hair is always sort of tastefully kind of boyish like that. And so that's kind of the feel that I hoped to get there. And just to be a little bit cheeky, yeah, that just about does it. That just about makes it. That does. Let's make the blush just a little bit more. Oh yes, that's perfect. Grian, feel free to remove that if you want, but I don't know. I think a little bit of Grian blush technique is absolutely necessary here. So we'll just go ahead, and the shirt's a lot easier because it's just red. The sleeves are rolled up, but the sleeves are also going to be below the globe, as with Mumbo over there. So we'll just pick various shades of red, and we'll just go at it like that. Now the primary one... The primary one has to be the sort of lightest... Well, not exactly the lightest one. I think we'll end up using some nether wart again, because I really liked that different color. It is definitely a darker red. As for a lighter red, we're probably going to have to use the concrete powder. Yeah, I think that's going to look nice. And then nether wart. Perfect. So I think these three blocks are going to be the foundation. Let me just... Oh, that's right. Grian also has a bit of neck showing there. So wood, we'll get the birch back out because that's what I used for the skin. And I'll pop back once we have Grian complete. Alright guys, that was actually an incredibly lucky transition because just after I finished recording that last segment, my alarm went off for the laundry. So... beautiful timing. After that, I worked on Grian's shirt a little bit, so just gonna sort of zoom out and pan down, and there we have it. So I think I actually ended up switching to red wool for the primary color because I noticed that there were a few more different combinations in there, like a few different shades of red that upon first inspection I didn't really catch. So obviously I used the nether wart for the really dark reds, I used red concrete for sort of the middle reds, I used the red wool for the primary color, and then I used some of the red concrete powder as a lighter red. So just taking this as a whole, this is sort of my tribute to Mumbo and Grian, and it's just, like I said, these two were my inspiration for getting into recording Minecraft videos, and just all around enjoying the game. Because before that, you know, I got it when it first, well, I got it in like 2010. And I played it a little bit in college, but it wasn't nearly as fleshed out as it was now. And then I started seeing, you know, Grian's really creative builds, and I started seeing Mumbo's really creative Redstone builds, and I saw the Hermitcraft series first, and then Evo, and, you know, I just really appreciate the fact that these two are coming together at last. And I think this might actually be a really good screenshot for the episode title. Let me just think about the framing here for a second. Right about there. Yeah, right about there. So that'll do that. And I think that about wraps it up. I originally had another idea. Yes, that's right. I originally had another idea that I could possibly do over here, but the episode's getting a little bit long, and I feel like I'd put a little bit more effort into that one, because it'll be like more three-dimensional and hopefully just better looking than, you know, these diagonal things. But in the end, this actually turned out pretty decently considering the scale. I think if I'd gone bigger, I would have been able to fit more detail in it, just by the very nature of how resolution sort of works in this game. And for this sort of level of pixelation, it's not half bad. It's really not half bad. And I was kind of a little bit hard on myself earlier because, you know, I just had this really perfect image in my mind. And I think for the media that we're using, this turned out pretty decent. Just don't look at the back. And so with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, if you liked the new intro and outro music, that's going to be sort of making a recurring theme in the rest of the series as well. I've picked out some stock music, royalty-free, that I think will accentuate the experience, because I really liked what I did with the Piston House video, that background music. If you like the video, or, you know, any of the stuff therein, feel free to like this video. If you're new to the channel and you want to see more of this stuff, click that subscribe button and click the bell to be notified. If you have any comments about these builds, if you want to see anything in particular, then leave that in the comments section. But in the meantime, I will catch you on the flip side. Thanks for watching, everyone.